Today is Tuesday, March 23rd at the time of this recording, and I'd like to share with you a vision and a dream that I received last night. In the vision, I was standing at the top of a cliff like you would see at the ocean on the coast where you're up high on the rocks and you can see down below the ocean coming in, the waves coming in and hitting the rocks, and you can see the white foam and the splashing. But what I saw as I was standing and looking down was that the strength and the speed of the waves were intensifying, and they were getting more and more powerful and more intense and more foaming when the waves would slam against the water. I could also feel the wind picking up. And in the vision, which is like in regular life, you can discern that a storm is coming. If you were standing on a cliff and you began to see that and the wind picking up, I also saw the clouds changing, you would be able to discern that a storm was brewing and a storm was coming in. What I saw and felt intensely was the powerful storm is arriving. I have been warning since 2015 when the warnings actually began. Each and every year, each and every warning has intensified. And what I would like you to do is go back in this YouTube channel to the beginning of 2019. At that time, in January of 2019, I received another massive warning. And since that time up until now, so it's a little over 27 months, the warnings I've received have been detailed, specific, and they've intensified. And I personally am going to go into my YouTube channel and I'm going to put the label warning on those recordings. And I would like you to start at January of 2019 and play those warnings. You can do that while you're driving or working on a project. But the Lord told me in January of 2019, He was clear about foreigners coming into the land, that they were going to come in deceptively, and they were going to come and overtake. In that warning was about the government collapse. In that warning was specifically a sign for the holy people to watch for, and no, that's not the sign of the coming of Christ, but a specific sign for us to know about the shift that's going to take place. So in this vision, I actually felt the wind, and then it became a blizzard, but it was more like wet, intense sleet, not so much as snow just sort of accumulating. That wasn't it. If you think about the difference, snow, it comes down, then it melts, or you shovel it, but sleet and a hard snow rain is very dangerous. It's very powerful. And I felt myself leaning into the wind actually when I was walking, I was going against the wind, and I felt the intensity and the power of the storm coming. And I want to tell you, as many warnings as I have been given and recorded and put out, this vision was very short and simple, but it was telling me that it is here. Although we know there's difficulties, and we know there's political issues, we know there's financial issues going on. There's a lot of issues going on, but I'm telling you, the storm is here. It is here, it is here, it is here, it is here. It's hitting the shoreline, and it's intensifying. What is going on in the air, in the spirit, is massive. In 2019, God's hand of protection lifted, and the pits were opened. Many things happened. We are on a time clock all the way back to the time of Christ. But in the last 6 years, starting in 2015, a specific clock started within many clocks and timetables. And then we move in closer to the last 27 months. And then we move in, and we move in, and we move in. I can only tell you, you must be spiritually prepared. You must be emotionally prepared. I want to tell you, the storm and the attack that's going on with the holy people is massive. The attacks on marriages is off the charts. I can't tell you how many people have spoken to me about that. And it's intense. It's huge domestic disturbance going on. There are attacks on family relationships. There are attacks on the mind of the holy people. There are attacks in every possible way in our lives, but specifically the attack on the marriages and the family relationships. This is why Jesus even said that the enemies will be in our own household. I can only warn you that you must be on your knees. You must daily put on the armor of God, which is in Ephesians 6. It's not on you automatically. You have to put it on. You must get yourself prepared for the spiritual attack and storm that's coming. This is not about getting your physical things in order. So I want to encourage you that if you think you're the only one that's going through this, if you think you're the only person that has enduring this attack, I want to assure you that this is across the charts going on amongst the holy people. This is another sorting and sifting and shifting taking place. Who can endure? Who can stay remaining faithful and enduring to the end? Who can stay strong? Who can stay in the Word? Who can fight correctly? I want to share with you about the dream. I had a very brief dream, but I had a visitation from Jesus. And I've not been released to tell the dream and the information I was given. But I will share with you what Jesus said to me at the end of the dream. And he said, instructions will be coming. I want to tell you, it's not far off. Instructions are going to be given specifically to the holy people, specific instructions for those who have ears to hear. And in order to have ears to hear, you must be in tune with the walk of Christ. In order to be in tune with the walk of Christ, you must spend time on your knees. You must spend time in your prayer closet. You must have come out of the world. If you listen again, as I shared at the beginning, if you go back to the beginning of 2019 on the warning recordings that I have been given, we're clearly told instructions will come. The Exodus is coming. Details and all of the different warnings and how it was going to happen. It's all there. I am not released for giving of the information I received in the dream, but I will tell you instructions are coming. There are many people. There's two groups of people. There are people that feel like everything is going okay. Yes, there's some difficulties in the political climate, but life is okay in general. Then there's the group of people that are fully aware that something seriously dangerous is coming. There's almost no middle ground to this. This is not a political answer. This is not about how to save your money and your possessions. Justice judgment is already going on. It's already here. In order to have ears to hear, I cannot say enough. You must be set apart. And to be set apart, you must come out of the world. You must be willing to be able to leave in an instant. The Lord has told me for some time, a long time, the quote, evangelical leaders are jumping ship, are bailing out. The whole route of many, many of them is about fame. It's about money. It's about the cameras. It's about a following. It's about how many views. And bit by bit, we have these people that are leading massive amounts of people astray. And I want to encourage you to stop listening to all of these different people. There are many people within the, quote, Christian movement that are heavily into the QAnon, following people that they should never, ever even be listening to. The Lord showed me several months back that the counterfeit church was going to rise. He showed me that they were going to be injection centers. There was going to be food offered and music, even childcare. And it was going to be such a wonderful place for people to come to. And even the church, those churches, are going to go door to door in the neighborhood. All of the things that should have already been going on in the true church. Giving food away, helping with clothing, housing the poor, knowing their neighborhoods, no, not having cameras that reach all over the place and they don't even know the people within a mile or two radius of themselves. But this time they will. We have an evangelical leader who is the largest known, most well-known name in the world, standing and speaking on behalf of the injection, speaking on behalf of what the church should do involving it. It's terrible. And I only want to give you this warning. I said over a year ago, Ebola was coming. Understand that this injection is not the injection. There's too much controversy and discussion being allowed about it. It's the next one. That's the real one. And I've said for a year, we've got to watch the back door. Too much focus has been on the front door, too much discussion. And I want to tell you, the censoring that's coming and already is going on about Ebola is unbelievable. And that's your clue. Be prepared. Have ears to hear and be ready to obey in an instant with the instructions for the holy people. The storm has long been warned about. The difficulties in the physical world has long been told about and warned about. And as I stood on those cliffs, I literally saw the storm arrive. I physically felt the intensity and the power of the spiritual storm and the poison that is coming against the world. Holy people, pay attention. Holy people, know who you are. Holy people, be ready to give it all up. Holy people, we may be inconvenienced. We may walk through flood waters, but we will be okay if we obey and keep ourselves separate and divided away from the ways of this world. Get your eyes out of social media. Get your mind off of other people's opinions. Get your eyes in the Word of God and get your knees on the floor. For He told me just less than 12 hours ago, instructions are coming. It will be very soon.